Hey guys, how are you? That's a little bright. Okay, there we go, a little bit better. All right, I'm in Colorado for New Year's, so happy New Year's and happy holidays. And all right, so I just had this awareness and it's been on my list to share for maybe 2 weeks now. And at first I thought it was important just because I had a 4-year-old, but I was like, okay, this is important, like for the consciousness or the imprint, right, of all humans. All right, so at the last house we lived at, we never had like cable or DirecTV or any of those, right? But we had Netflix and Hulu and YouTube or whatever, but we had some we probably had a little bit more controls on what was on TV, okay? Now just listen, okay? So then we move into this new community, and one of the perks of the new community is cable television comes with this new community, okay? So at first, Jason's excited because like we had a little bit of a challenge trying to find Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football when we had Netflix and Hulu. So now we're like, oh gosh, okay, so from a sports perspective, we're like, okay, easy access to sports. Now, until we figured out like the internet and getting our Apple TV hooked up, we would watch like TV for Augie, and he doesn't watch much. It's maybe 15 minutes in the morning, and that is quite honestly only if he wakes up in time to get dressed and get out the door, right? Does that make sense? Otherwise he runs out of time. He doesn't watch TV, or he watches it a little bit in the evening. It's like 1 or 2 shows. Okay. So we're finding some shows like Paw Patrol or whatever, Disney Junior Dog, something like that, you guys, on TV. Now, commercials this is the first time we've experienced commercials with Augie. Okay. And it did not take us long. You guys were like sitting on the couch. There's whatever we're watching. Okay. This is like Nick Jr. or Disney Junior, or whatever these channels are. Okay. And first of all, let's talk about pharmaceutical commercials. And I was a pharmaceutical sales rep from 2003 to 2008. Okay, so you watch these pharmaceutical commercials. We probably become a little bit immune to them because we see them all the time. But now I've got this 4-year-old. He's like, Mommy, why do they die? Okay, because it says, and has been known to cause serious and occasional death. Does that make sense? So now, you guys get this if you have children. I think we become so immune, but it doesn't mean it doesn't imprint on us in some fashion, you guys, even though we can't consciously maybe recite the pharmaceutical commercial or we don't listen to it. So he starts asking questions like that around pharmaceutical commercials, and Jason and I are like we're aware that what he's watching and hearing, we don't want him to hear, but until they actually start speaking it, okay? Then there was another example. It's some sort of family drama show, okay? And there's a parent and some kids. And I don't even know what they said, but he says, Mom, what does put up with mean? I'm like, well, Paul, what do you mean to put up with? He's like, well, that mommy has to put up with her kids. I'm like, oh, great. Do you know what I mean? So we're trying to explain what to put up with. Okay, then we say to tolerate. Well, I don't, it's like, okay, they have to tolerate. He's like, well, what does tolerate mean? And as much as we're trying to describe, because he's inquisitive and wants to understand learning a new language. I always think if I'm trying to learn a new language, that's what he's trying to do, is just learn a new language and understand. In the meantime, I don't want him to hear the consciousness of parents having to put up with their kids on this commercial. And it was just a family drama commercial, okay? Here's my third one. And then I was like, that's it, Jason, Apple TV's got to be hooked up tomorrow. He's like, for sure. Okay. So then the third one is, Jason and I were just talking about this morning. I'm like, I've got to do that, Facebook Live on this, is a child gets stolen, right? There's some sort of, I don't know if it's a movie, you guys, or, obviously look at me, I don't pay attention. I only pay attention when he starts asking questions. So a child gets stolen or kidnapped, right? And he's like, Mommy, why does that kid get stolen? I'm like, oh my gosh, that was it. Okay, so my whole awareness is, first of all, you guys, we've got to shelter our kids from standard commercials. Oh my goodness, these poor kiddos. TV is one thing, right? But I'm like, can we somehow, I don't know, is there, I don't know. I'm like, I get it, there's Netflix and there's Hulu, and I don't have the answer, but my mind was so aware, because he never sees commercials, you guys, that just in that short little, 1 week time span, the questions that he was asking that he's never been exposed to, I don't want him exposed to at 4 years old, okay? And then Jason and I start talking, I'm like, well, I actually don't ever want to be exposed to that, right? I don't want to, first of all, I don't watch a lot of TV, but if I'm watching football or if I'm watching something on TV, I do have it on occasionally. I also don't want to hear about the kidnapped children, goodness gracious, Lord bless them, right? Or the tolerating your kids' language. I'm like, just as a consciousness, you guys, as a human evolution race that's attempting to raise consciousness, right? I think one of my words for 2019 was awareness. And I was like, my awareness has been so heightened by observing a little guy never being exposed to commercials, you guys. And in just one short week, the questions he's asking around the commercials, I'm like, yeah, not only are children being raised around that, you guys, but we as adults, like, we're so immune to it. It's like normal, everyday thought patterns and language. I'm like, I don't want that to be the normal, everyday thought pattern and language for our family. So Happy New Year, right? Maybe adopt some sort of new thought pattern or possibility or exposure if you guys have children. And if you don't, to yourself, or just become aware. Like when you're watching TV and you see those commercials, you guys, just be like, whoa. Like, just, that's all you have to do. Maybe you don't have to shut it off. You just have to be like, whoa, conditioning. Does that make sense? Just like, whoa, I'm being conditioned, and that's it. So Happy New Year.